Music is everywhere these days. We stream it on our phones, we listen on the radio in our cars, we hear it in movies and on TV, and in advertising across all of our screens. But pop music these days doesn't sound quite like classical music of yesteryear. How did we get from Beethoven to Cardi B? To figure this out, I called up two of my friends at the Eastman School of Music, Milman and Reagan Casteel, to talk about how they got interested in music and what they've learned so far at one of the country's top music schools. So, how did you get interested in music in the first place?
My parents were the type of people that wanted to force me to do something at a very, very young age.
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and I think that's where a lot of my musical interest originally came from. Both of my parents are musicians. My mom is a singer, and my dad plays trumpet.
So they sat me on the floor with a random old lady who tried to teach me how to play piano at the age of 3. And I guess that's where it all began.
I always had music around me when I was growing up, and it's been a really important part of my life.
But I actually didn't start personally getting into it until I was maybe 6 or 7, where I was still actually trying to pick up the piano, and then I played the saxophone when I was 9. And
also a part that I don't really think about but was definitely very influential was singing church music, and just exposure to that kind of genre, and the idea that music had been around for a long time and had been used to communicate through the ages.
What's it like to study music?
It definitely makes you more aware of different maps of what you're listening to.
Music theory, music history, RL skills, which is ear training, music theory for your ears.
And concepts of where you're going and where you're moving from. It makes a lot of visualizing music more horizontal than vertical, because when you listen to a song, you're not thinking of where it's going and where it's coming from. You're just kind of sitting there listening to the song.
I take composition lessons. I spend almost 2 hours a week in composition studio, where we have guest speakers come talk to us about their music, and we get exposed to all different kinds of music across the country and across the world.
How does that help you write pop music?
I think to a degree I incorporate what I learn, especially in theory and that kind of thing, but a lot of it is just kind of using my ears, which I use for both, so I think that that's a skill that carries over regardless of genre or style.
Classical music helps me compose all the time because, I know what the map is of the song, and I want to change the map, right? And so I know other things because of classical music that can replace parts of the map of the original song and take me to another destination that I want to go to.
Why is pop music so catchy?
Even if you're not consciously listening to it, you can listen to it in the background and still know how it goes. And I think that makes popular music catchy and easy to remember, easy to sing. Also, people can just sing along in the car. I think that's what makes it, because then you can interact with the experience of listening to the music instead of just I can't sing along to Stravinsky. It wouldn't work that way.
Partially because it's easy, but it doesn't sound easy, right? It's melodical.
I think not necessarily in the pop genre, but in the kind of subgenre of the Jacob Collier-esque fascination with the academic side of music. And I think people know that, and they're wow, this is so intelligent and so academic and so consciously thinking about music and its basis in theory and its basis in this contemporary classical tradition. So I think in that style, yes, but not necessarily what you would hear on pop radio.
Different instruments have different sounds that convey different emotions. And once you have an emotion that you want to convey, you can pick and choose different instruments and different sounds that you want in order to convey it. Every song is a story, and it's your opportunity to be able to bend a story to how you want it to be told. So it makes you the storyteller.